Hey everybody, it's Flyin Ryan here with a review of the Blade 200QX from Horizon Hobby. I have been looking forward to this quad for so long, and it absolutely did not disappoint. This thing is just so cool. I cannot rave about it enough. Just absolutely in love with it. It looks cool. It just has a really neat design. It's a great size, and it is brushless. So it has really powerful motors and is the smallest brushless quad that you can get on the market right now. And so just really cool, just a ton of power. This thing can carry a GoPro in this little size. And with these big landing gear legs, you've got plenty of clearance to fit a camera under there. Or you can take the legs off if you want and just fly it with just the body here. And it's kind of got some little landing feet on the motor mounts here. So just really cool. It has LEDs inside the body, and so the body's kind of a little bit transparent, and so you can see the LEDs shine from inside the body. They aren't overly bright. It's still plenty bright to fly at night, but maybe not quite as bright as like the Latrax Alias. And one thing I found odd is that the front LEDs are red and the rear LEDs are green, which I kind of feel like that's backwards. I feel like green should be in the front and red should be in the back. Green for go, red for stop. But you know, it's pretty easy to change that if you want. There's just 6 screws in the frame that you can take out, and then the LEDs are just plugged in, so you can unplug them and move them around pretty easily if you want. Let's see. It only comes in bind and fly. There is no RTF version, so you've got to provide your own radio, or you can buy a lower end radio. I think the cheapest radio you can get for this is about $40. It comes with a 2S 800 milliamp hour battery. This is a 20C battery, but there is a optional 30C battery available as well. Which I've flown this a few times and I haven't noticed any major difference from the 30C. Theoretically, it should have a little more punch to it, but I think it also would have shorter flight times because you're using your battery power faster. That's what the 30C is, the discharge rate, so it's discharging at a faster, higher rate. It comes with a balance charger and a little, wall adapter power for it. And then it also has this little tool here, which is for this end removes the nut so you can change the prop, and this end removes the bottom nuts here for taking the motors out of the frame. And then it also comes with a set of spare props. It is a little bit fragile. It's kind of a heavy quad for its size, being that it has brushless motors and everything. So this thing, this is kind of meant for more serious pilots. This isn't going to handle crashes too well. I was out practicing flips and agility mode on mine and just totally botched it and flew it straight into the ground and broke an arm just right in half. So you can kind of see it, the plastic just kind of shredded out of there. Just not overly durable, but to be expected. And so I panicked, I was like, oh gosh, I don't know if I can do a whole frame replacement, because I'm not much of a tinkerer and modder and all that stuff. So I kind of freaked out and immediately went out and bought a second one. And so now I have 2 of them, which I'm certainly not complaining about having 2 of them. And then this one I got the optional camera, so you can kind of see what the camera looks like. It has a mount, and then it plugs into this, there's a port here, and that's for the camera to plug into. So you can actually control the camera from your transmitter and take pictures and start and stop video from the transmitter. So I'll be doing a separate video review of the camera, but just so you can get an idea of what it looks like, it's pretty cool. But this also has plenty enough power to lift the Mobius, so I've mounted my Mobius on there, just putting rubber bands around the body and just holding the Mobius onto the frame under the bottom. That works great as well. Oh, and I wanted to show it next to the Nano QX here, so you can get an idea of the size. Like, I mean, this is called Nano, so I mean, it's not much bigger than the Nano QX, and for being brushless, it is just impressive how small it is. Let's see. So, it has two stability modes. So you've got low angle stability and high angle stability, and then you've got agility mode, which turns off the 6-axis and it has a normal 3-axis gyro. So there's no auto leveling, there's no limit to how much angle you can do. So then you can do all your manual stunts, you can flip it and all that stuff in agility mode. But I like flying in the stability modes. It's just really nice and precise and just really smooth flying, and just, you know, it doesn't get out of control, and it just makes you feel like a really good pilot, basically, flying in high angle stability. And you still have got plenty enough pitch to do all the fancy stuff you want to do with it. And this actually has numerous levels of LVC warnings, and so it has a really early LVC warning, and I think there's a light in the back here which shows, you know, if you're on low angle, high angle, or agility. It's green for low angle, blue for high angle, and red for stability. So that, I believe, blinks, and the main LEDs start to blink when you hit LVC. And so they'll do a slow blink when it first hits the first level of LVC, and then it gets faster and faster the more you wear down the battery. So if you stop flying at that very first LVC warning, you're not going to damage your battery. You're going to have a lot of lifespan out of your battery. And so I recommend stopping as soon as you see that. You can push it further, but then you risk, you know, you're going to eventually wear out your battery much faster. But I've been getting about 8-minute flight times probably flying to that first LVC warning. You could probably stretch it out to like 10 minutes if you fly it further down the LVC warning there. Let's see, what else do I have to say about it? Let's talk about, people have been talking about motor sounds, and there is definitely something going on with the motors. Let's see if I can show you. If you just flick it with your fingers, that one's nice and quiet. But you hear that one? It's kind of got a little bit of a rattle to it. So a lot of people are hearing this rattle in some of their motors, and it hasn't really been proven or disproven that that's actually a problem or not. It doesn't seem to affect flight performance at all. It's too new still to really know if it's going to affect the motor longevity. Maybe it will kill the motor eventually faster, but it's yet to be proven. But there definitely is some sound that happens only, like, that's the only motor I've got that does it. The other ones are silent. So definitely something weird there, but we don't know if it's really a problem or not. Problem or not yet. And there also, when you're flying it and you yaw, there's a kind of a weird sound that you can hear then too. But people who have flawless motors that don't make this sound when you move it with your fingers, they still hear that sound when yawing. So we're pretty sure that that's just a normal sound. It's either the ESCs, some sort of electronic sound, or some resonance in the body or something. It seems like that's natural. It seems like every single 200QX makes that sound regardless whether there's motor sounds or not. So I definitely don't think there's anything to worry about the yaw sound, and we're still not sure if this motor flicking sound is anything to worry about either. So I thought that was worth mentioning because that has definitely been discussed in great details on forums and whatnot. But again, we don't really know if it's a problem or not. I think that's about all I had to say about it. So I'm sure you've probably seen I've got several videos up of this thing already, flying it at night and in wind and doing a maiden flight review. But let's go ahead and take it for another spin and I'll show you what she can do. Alright, let's check that out. Alright, this is the flight review of the Blade 200QX. And I figured you've seen me fly it outdoors in a bunch of different ways. Let's see what it can do in the kitchen. I think it should be completely doable. especially on low angle, and I'll be flying on 70% rates. We'll go ahead and start it out on the ground though. And as I mentioned in my maiden review, you've got to move both sticks to the inside corners to initiate the motors. You can also do it by moving the rudder back and forth at low throttle, but some people have reported with like some of the lower end radios, and I think maybe like Devo flashed radios or whatever, that those don't work, and you've got to actually like give some throttle trim or something to get it to arm. So if you have a problem getting your motors to arm, go search the internet and there should be some steps about giving throttle trim to make it work. But anyway, I can just move my sticks to the inside corners and that'll arm the motors. And let's see what she does. So I mean, you can just see it is just right off the bat, the thing is just so stable and smooth. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I was talking about how I crashed it and broke it and bought another one because I was afraid about doing the frame repair. Well, I bought another frame and ended up repairing it, and it took, I think, maybe 30-40 minutes. Probably could do it in 20 minutes now that I know what I'm doing. But it was super easy. I think there was maybe like 12 to 16 screws, and that's really all it was. I had to unscrew the props and the motors, unscrew the frame, and then unscrew 2 boards from the frame, and just move them to another one and plug it back in. It was just so easy. So if you break the frame, don't freak out, don't worry, it's a pretty easy repair. But I mean, just look at this thing. I mean, I'm flying a brushless quad around the kitchen like nothing. I mean, it is such a nice flying quad. This thing is just so awesome. My yaw rate's still at 100%. I keep yaw at 100% throughout all my rates. And so you can kind of hear that weird, I don't know, kind of a grindy sound when it yaws. But as far as I can tell, that's normal, and they all seem to do it, and nobody is proven any sort of problem because of it. And I think it's just some sort of resonance or electronic sound. Man, this thing is so awesome. It is just so stable and smooth and precise, and I can't believe it. I mean, who would have thought you'd be able to fly a brushless quad in your little tiny kitchen, huh? How about indoor night flight? What do you think? Now, I don't think I'm going to try circuits or anything, but we can just hover and look at it. So you can see what the LEDs look like. Red is a little bit dim in the front there. Green is super bright, so I kind of wish that was the front, because it's just so much easier to see. I may go ahead and open it up and swap the LEDs around. I'm just a little worried that I've flown it enough now that I've gotten used to the colors the way they are, and if I swap them around, then I'll end up getting confused all over again. Alright, let's take it down again, turn the lights back on, and this thing is so stable I think I can even take it in for a landing on my little landing pad. And throttle hold. Not bad at all. How about that? Flying the 200QX around the kitchen. Pretty cool, man. I am just absolutely in love with this little thing. Alright, well that's that. That's the Blade 200QX from Horizon Hobby. Alright, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you next time.